doing something new here. This is Dream Warriors, Halloween special, little Halloween thing. We're calling it 31 Days of Dread. This is day one, the Bunnyman Massacres. Let's get to it. Okay. Let me adjust myself here. So this is October 1st. We're in about midday, about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah. So just to bring you up to speed with what's happening with the show, I haven't decided yet if what I'm about to talk about is going to flow into normal episodes. So we may have, like, just for example, something like Dream Warriors 55 rolled into the middle of October, or throughout this series I'm going to tell you about real quick. So, 31 Days of Dread, October, 31 days, Halloween. Going to do one horror movie a day. And we're going to target, maybe 25, 30-minute long episodes, quick conversations. A lot of these are already recorded. They're already on the shelf, ready to go. And some of them I have planned out with Heather, Mark, John, potentially, to, have them sit down and talk about some movies that they enjoy. And yeah, so like the whole idea, what kind of came of this is a YouTube channel, Massacre. James Rolfe, he's a gatekeeper influencer in the realm of YouTube, and he used to do, it was like Monster Mania, and it was 31. He did 31 YouTube videos, and yeah, a lot of work. But I thought copying his format, copying what he did, and just adding a little bit more to little bit more insight into the movie, where I was with it, is like watching it, or if it's a legacy movie with me, something like The Exorcist, Poltergeist, movies that I watch, maybe like once or twice a year, and kind of talk about how those movies have affected my entire life, or how the movie reads through one's life. So yeah, so today, Amazon Prime Discovery, the Bunnyman Massacres, and wow, this movie blew me away. It blew me away in such a unexpected, fun, delightful, way. And by that, I'll give you like a little bit of background. So, Norm and myself, we there's I'm trying to phrase this right, but yeah, it's no secret Norm and I are on a little bit of a break. And we were developing a bunch of different projects, and this is something that I feel like anyone listening should do in their life. Norm and I have a, like roughly maybe like a 10-year gap between us age wise, and I always took Norm under my wing, nurtured his creative side, try to give him the shortcuts that really made me bleed in in life. Like, hey, I went through this stuff. You don't have to. Please listen to me. And trials, tribulations, life goes on. The candle burns. Norm, kind of like would be on and off that path, but within the last 2 years, I really tried to crack down and complete two projects with him that I thought would be great. There would be great definitions, capability statements, that I thought he would be able to shop around and get a job somewhere as a creative. So one of these projects, the birth of Dream Warriors, as we all know, was a discussion around one of our comic book projects, and that was a recorded session that became the podcast. The second project was a movie project, and yeah, I was very animated with to have him learn as much about the filmmaking process as possible. With kind of like me coming in as I won't even say producer because I'm unclear on exactly how I would fall into that role, but almost just as like a mentor. Just making sure he was doing things correctly. And like this and that. So this film project, believe it or not, very similar to the Bunnyman Massacre. So when I saw this on Amazon Prime, it was just one of those things where I'm like, you know what? I was like, we were definitely on to something because here it is. I'm looking at it. I think our spin was fantastic. I think we had more of a like fun slasher angle to it. So that's why this movie popped out to me. That's why I wanted to make it day one, and that's why I waited till today to even record this episode because I thought it would just be, like a little bit more true, a little bit more honest, and that's what we do with Dream Warriors. We be as honest as possible. We with our feelings, with where we are. A lot of this stuff affects how we view something sometimes. If you're in a bad place, state wise, or if you're in a bad frame, your receptors are off, and you can sit down and watch Hamlet and think it's horrible. If you're in a good state, you can sit down and Hamlet just is the most incredible play, even movie, the Kenneth Branagh movie. It's just incredible, and you love it. You maybe love it more at that moment than you ever could in your entire life. And I think this is very important when it comes to reviews and discussions and things of that nature, because sometimes you like you build a wall up, like you build a wall of defense up, and eventually what that does is it clouds your mind and your receptors are off and you're just not reading or seeing what you should. You're in a different frame, and because of that, you're not getting the most out of the content that's being delivered to you. So, okay, let's just so Carl Lindbergh, that's the guy that directed this movie. It's put out by Enoch Productions, and if you go to Carl's Twitter, Enoch Productions is listed under his Twitter page, and I haven't really looked into too much of him and who he is, but just by going to his website, he has South Park up on his website, so I don't know. He may have some connections. He might do work at South Park. So this movie, from the opening credits, it's almost a love letter to Texas Chainsaw. The movie poster also says inspired by true events, which I'm very curious about. But it begins. This movie opens. It opens a way that anyone that's seen horror movies and watched slasher movies, there's scenarios that run through your head that you're like, my God, like would just someone open a movie this way? Would someone just do it? Would someone please, 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 please? So this movie, spoiler, I don't care. It's a bunny with a chainsaw going through a school bus, hacking kids. And if that's not the most glorious beginning of a horror movie, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what can top it. And then at that point, it goes into, I forget what Friday the 13th. One of the kills, I know he pulls a girl out of the tent with a sleeping bag and beats it against a tree. Jason Voorhees. So the bunny in this movie does something similar in the next scene. And along the way, what we have, we have a collection of beautiful women. Like stuff you want to see in a movie like this. Okay, beautiful women, and you see some of them topless. And what can I say about that other than just go watch it? You gotta see some of this. I, it's it's great to see movies that just have clear intent delivered to you. Not trying to be cute, not trying to reinvent the wheel, but there's obvious influences in this movie. I think Carl, right? Guy's first name, right? Right? Let me just go back. Yeah, Carl. Good old Carl. This is a guy who just made a movie. He found a way to make a movie, and there's enough there for this guy to get another shot to make more. Not so much maybe Bunnyman, but something else, or maybe a sequel. But there's enough there. There's enough there for him to maybe get two shots, and that's the very important takeaway. Horror movies are often criticized for not being original, not being good. Everyone says horror is not as good as it used to be, but I don't know. Every single year, there seems to be great horror movies, variations on trends and pivots, and it goes on and on and on. And that's really the history of horror. Horror is built off of the success of others, and it's changed up. And along the way, it gets changed up enough where it slowly evolves into another subgenre of something else that exists within horror. So I don't know. I mean, or is some of it audiences are just, because they have a social media as a platform, they want to just get up on the soapbox and start barking. Yeah, mostly that. But in my opinion, Carl has crafted a love letter. The deaths in this movie, some of them, I think they even borrowed one from Sallow. The Italian, right? I'm pretty sure that's it. The Italian horror movie. They borrowed one death out of that, and this movie is gory. This movie's bloody. This movie has a position with blood. I think it has wonderful use of force perspective, and it just goes to show you don't need you don't need trailers, you don't need sound guys, you don't need caterers. These things people you're under the impression you think you need. No, this dude just went out and shot a freaking movie. The movie he wanted to see. Probably the movie he fantasized about when he was in high school. Okay? Which is, I wish Jason Voorhees would slaughter children. I wish Nightmare on Elm Street had more boobies. I wish Halloween just did these types of kills. Why can't they do it? They made multiple sequels of those movies, and they kind of get toned down sequel to sequel. They never really seem to get cranked up. And this movie starts. I think it's the Texas Chainsaw angle is great because you actually see the face of the bunny dude, which I kind of thought was a mistake. I would have liked it to have been hidden throughout the entire movie. But dude, the guy's face, you're almost you're like, whoa. It's such an eerie visual. Even now, just thinking about it. And so the other angle that this movie kind of goes on, or tangent, is a little bit like The Hills Have Eyes. So you have the Texas Chainsaw, murder family angle. You have the slasher movie angle, with the bunny. Okay, and then it kind of veers into a the Hills Have Eyes angle. And when you see a movie and the intent is as clear as this, there's little room for I'll say nuance, okay, but you get what you sit down to watch. That's a piece of the film going experience that we're losing right now. It's being lost. Movies right now fight in battle to be so creative. They fight in battle to be too original. They fight in battle too hard. They try and be too cute. and it falls apart time and time again. It doesn't resonate. Sit down and tell me RoboCop isn't exactly what it is, or Gremlins, or Goonies, or Poltergeist. Like these movies from the '80s are like really not dying. Like they're not. The movies from the '80s are conquering culture as a whole. Okay, uh, everything else from the '90s seems to be going through a resurgence, but the '90s movies. So we have to look at that format. We have to look at what these filmmakers were trying to do. Okay, now some of it is to sell merchandise. Believe it or not, some of these movies were commercials, and we're better for it. '80s cartoons, deregulation, Reaganomics, rolling in allowed direct advertising to children, and we had a golden age of animation and ideas and toy production that to this day adults cannot back out of. They are just addicted to still collecting Transformers and so on and so forth. So, when I speak of intent, that's where I'm coming from. And the delivery method, glorious. How amazing is it that I found this movie just off of flicking through Amazon Prime? Just going through the entire horror catalog, making a list of what to do for all of October. And as soon as I saw this movie, it just blew my mind. The poster, the artwork alone blew my mind. Not that it was not that it was like some groundbreaking piece, just the visual, just like it's like wow, like this thing it exists, it's out there. I found it, and that's why it's number one. Because I want to bring it to you directly. So, criticisms for the movie, I don't know. I mean, like, it's maybe I don't know. I think it has gaps in the narrative flow. Ooh, platitude. Right, I gotta explain that without really destroying too much of the movies within spoilers. Excuse me, I got something in my throat there. Narrative flow. I don't think I don't think the characters, I don't think the situation, I don't think the plot arrives quickly enough. I think there's the stuff with the kids doesn't seem to really resonate or carry through the movie, because how would you ever get away with that? You would have the National Guard looking for you. So, and then it becomes kind of like girl porn horror, and you're not buying any of the victims. You're not buying that they're in trouble. You're not buying that they are being hurt or tortured. But okay, so, but the parts of the plot that resonate are that these are just psychotic people that just get off on torturing women. Big part of this movie. I think some of that, like some sympathy built into the villains, would have been perfect. You just kind of feel sorry for them to a larger extent. A lot of this, kind of like plot-wise, is exactly what we saw in 31, Rob Zombie's 31, and something like The Purge, if we just go with real quick modern-day examples. But those movies have a structure that was presented early, like a situation, a setting that was really just sold within like the first couple minutes. This movie does not do that. This is more of a design draw type feature. It's with if it's a psychotic type family, Texas Chainsaw style, it really needs to deliver like types of visuals and practices of the family that are, I would even say like House of a Thousand Corpses, another Rob Zombie reference. His love letter, the beginning of that, also Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It needs to have some of that. And it just needs to be a horror family, with it being realistic and not over the top, and just so when they get these girls, you're afraid for them You want them to escape, but you don't, and that's the hook. And so in this movie, you really don't care. You kind of just want the girls to die. You're like, oh, just kill them. So, all right, so those are the thoughts. I think they're fantastic thoughts for a first-time filmmaker. Heck yeah. Any day of the week. I think if we had more guys like Carl out there doing it, grinding away, I think Carl should be on a lecture series. Like I said, I'm super impressed by this guy, by this director. He seemed to be a one-person production house. I think he also wrote the movie. He produced it. It might have been involved with some of the special effects. I ain't drilled too deeply into that, only because I just wanted to enjoy and absorb the movie as it was. I didn't want to drill too deep into it. I didn't want to think about it too much. I just wanted to sit down, watch it, and then bang, come here and record. That's all I wanted to do. Give me one moment here. I need a sip of my coffee. Yeah, I was out pretty late last night. Woke up late today. I think I'm mentally snapped. Just too much going on. I'm doing Inktober for my Instagram. Jake Parker, I'm using his prompts. I'm using robots as a theme. I was behind on that. I cleaned out my final storage unit full of collectibles from Jersey and really just dumping everything on eBay. And that's just been it's been nonstop day and night type work to filter, break down, list, and things start selling. So even now I have 6 or 7 packages I gotta get out the door by Monday morning. Okay, so between last night and this morning, yeah, I needed a lot of quiet time. I needed to mentally recharge, and at the same notion, or not notion, what am I saying? In the same level, had to get my butt in gear at the same time. So, but I saw Son Little last night, Philadelphia artist. Look him up. Fantastic. Oh my God, such a good show. Saw it at the Boot and Saddle. Incredible show. Great time. But yeah, so just getting back to this real quick. It's important. If you're out there and you want to get involved with film, if you want to just make a movie, watch this movie, memorize it, because you can see your own capabilities. We're not dealing with a $30 million budget. We're dealing with a zero budget. And now we have something that's streaming that people can watch anywhere at any time. It's available on the second largest streaming network, or maybe, I don't know if membership wise, if Prime has more than Netflix. I really don't know, but you can do it. It's out there. Just get it done. It doesn't have to be perfect, but finish it. And that's the point. Just finish the freaking movie that you want to make. And maybe some of this is me talking directly to Norm. Just do it. This movie idea exists. It's out there. There's validation of the premise. So finish your job. Just do it. Yeah. So maybe like that's a big message here also. But I don't know. Lightheart, not taking things too seriously. It's hard not to enjoy this movie. I think this movie is great to sit down, and I was on Amazon and there was Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street shot glasses. So, like, buy those, man. Sit down with your friends, crack open some Fireball, create a drinking game to this movie, okay? And just enjoy yourself. Just have a good freaking time. And that's what Carl wants you to do. And I don't know. I'm going to publish this. I'm going to tweet Carl. I would love Carl to be maybe my first call-in guest for Dream Warriors. I really would. I'm not even joking. But look, episode 1 or day 1 of 31 Days of Dread, it's a wrap. Don't forget, you can monitor everything coming for Dream Warriors as it's being built. It's on Facebook, Peter A. DeLuca. Just find me on Facebook. It's a business page. And AKAPAD 13 on Instagram. Those are your two biggest avenues. Instagram and Facebook will just tell you everything that's coming up between my art projects, my drawing projects, any products coming out, anything to do with streaming, live, Dream Warriors, and the YouTube stuff. Okay, so check me out there. Let me know. Let me know if this movie sucked. Well, or let me know. Not even that. That's unfair. Let me know if you did not enjoy this movie. I want to know why. But signing off. And hey, day 2 coming up. What's it going to be? What's the horror movie?